afternoon, respected Chairman Sir, Dr. Thakkar and Dr. Sanjay Dhar and my colleagues. One fine day, 6:30 morning, Dr. Pradeep called me, Sir, ye to lecture lena hai. That lecture which nobody wants to listen as well as nobody wants to face it. So that is the all-cause mortality and assessment and to get whether there is any protocol. So 6.4% to 30% mortality is there in pelvic fractures, which needs urgent hospital management of all our pelvic fractures, because the pelvic fractures is completely surrounded by important vascular structures. So this slide is not to make you to go away from the pelvic fractures, but then you should be aware of these type of pelvic vessels are all surrounded by around the pelvis. The pre-sacral plexus is the worst to have. So all these blood vessels and veins, they bleed once you get pelvic fracture. And that's why there is a chance of a mortality, and which is as high as 30%. So what are the reasons? This one slide will show you what are the reasons of pelvic mortality. It depends on the type of fracture. Next slide. It depends on the type of fracture. It also depends on high injury severity score. It is also dependent on associated head, chest, and abdominal trauma, hemorrhagic shock and admission and requirement of blood transfusion, open pelvic fractures, perineal lacerations, and elderly population who are frail. So these are the factors which affects the mortality in pelvis. So let's have the type of fracture. The first, the mortality is 8.2% in type A fracture, but it increases to 68.2% in type C fractures, which is statistically very significant, and you have to take care of these fractures very effectively to prevent mortality. Next slide. So why I said that in A type there is a 8.8% mortality and why it is more in type C? Because when you have a lateral, when you have a lateral compression, you have head injury, direct vascular, neural or bladder injury because of the fall. Because of that lateral compression, that can get damaged. In AP compression, that is APC injuries, you can have a substantial hemorrhage. Remember my first vascular diagrams. So because when the pelvis opens, SI joint opens and pubic diastasis opens, all these blood vessels and presacral plexus starts bleeding. And then you will have a substantial hemorrhage which leads to mortality. Vertical shear, when there is a vertical displacement, it is visceral injuries, they are very common, and it is highly unstable. And combined fractures, it is all associated. So important to note that lateral compression can pierce into bladder, and because of the fall from height, lateral associated injuries. In APC, you have to worry about the presacral plexus injuries, vascular injuries, so that is important. Then why early and late mortality? It depends on revised trauma score, injury severity score, initial hemoglobin, and blood transfusion. So these are the predictives of early mortality, and age, ISS, Glasgow Coma Scale are deemed risk factors in death after 24 hours. So this again showed that open pelvic fractures, they have high mortality up to 21.6%. So amongst all pelvic fractures, 5% is the incidence of open pelvic, and out of which there is 21% mortality rate. So it all depends on revised trauma score. So if the revised trauma score is more, that is 12, it is good. But if it is less, it is bad. Less than 3 is dead. So all these things are important to know when you are dealing with pelvic trauma. Elderly population, there is something called as frailty score. So if the frailty score is more, these people have slightest ability to cope up with injuries, and the pelvic trauma itself is a big injury. So elderly population becomes a very high predictor for mortality in pelvic fractures. DVT and PE, pulmonary embolism, arising from trauma, pelvic fractures and extremity fractures is 30 to 50% incidence in trauma patients, and mortality is around 10% because of pulmonary embolism in pelvic fractures. So that is a late reason for the mortality in pelvic fractures. So why do we want to know all this mortality? So to prevent it. How to prevent is, you have a proper ATLS guidelines in situ. You should know what and when to intervene. Clinical examination is important. You have to stop the bleeding source, aggressive fluid and blood management, and X-ray, CT fast you should do in your emergencies. So some protocols: pre-hospital recess, casualty ATLS, diagnostics followed by damage control, which is binder, X-fix and pelvic angiography. When to do, we'll see. So it again, that my first slide, depending on the type of injury, the stable pelvic injuries, partially stable and completely stable. So depending on that, you have the emergency situation in casualty to prevent mortality. So how do you know? So there is one scoring system, that is World Society of Emergency Surgery classification, which has 4 types: grade 1, 2, 3, and 4. So this is stable hemodynamics, stable mechanics. Stable hemodynamics, unstable mechanics, and stage grade 4 is unstable, unstable. So this is where we have to prevent mortality. So what are the guidelines? What does fall in grade 1? APC 1, lateral compression 1 falls in Young and Burgess, WSES grade 1. So it is everything stable, you do CT, non-op treatment. Moderate, grade 2, what falls in that? APC 2-3, LC 2-3. Hemodynamics is stable, mechanics is unstable. So this is very important. And then yes, you do CT, pelvic binder, CT angio. If C for the blush, then you do embolization, and then you can go for a definitive fixation. Then grade 3, WSES, it is vertical shear and combined, stable hemodynamic, unstable mechanics. You do CT angio, blush, then embolize, C-clamp, and then secondary definitive fixation. And then comes 4, it is any type which is hemodynamic unstable and mechanics is unstable. Don't do CT. First do pelvic binder, packing, angio, reboa, and mechanical stabilization. Once the patient is stabilized, do CT, serial clinical labs to know your various scores, and then definitive fixation. So you plan it so that mortality is prevented. So this is the coming to the end, predictor of early versus late mortality. So this is important slide to know, because in pelvic fracture, this is early mortality is because of hemorrhage, 74%. It goes decreasing as you go late, 1%. Associated injuries can kill patient in 24 hours to 72 hours. But in delayed, associated injuries and complications of pelvic fractures will kill the patients. So what are the late deaths? Because of multi-system organ failure, associated chest head trauma, and sometimes it is very important to know you are dealing with hip fracture, acetabulum or pelvic fractures, and you suddenly supraacetabular area which was displaced, you try to reduce it. Suddenly the nutrient vessel starts bleeding and you will get torrential bleeding. That has happened with me. So then the patient can delayedly go into hemorrhagic shock and the PE. So all these things you have to keep in mind. In summary, beware of causes of death in pelvic fractures and manage it with the polytrauma team at tertiary care. So it is very important when you see these pelvic fractures, depending on this type of fractures and the WSS score, you classify it and need multimodal treatment simultaneously. Thank you.